Hi everyone, welcome back to Baking with Becca. Today we're going to make Millionaires Shortbread. All of the measurements are in the description box below. Step 1 is to make the shortbread base. You need to cream together the butter and sugar until the sugar has completely dissolved into the butter. Make sure it's really smooth and there's no grainy bits of sugar left. Then you can add in the flour and mix this until it's combined. You can do this either using your spatula or using your hands. Once you've formed it into the consistency of a dough, you can transfer this to your prepared baking tin. Make sure you push the shortbread down so that it's flat at the bottom of the tin. You can use a spoon to flatten it down and make sure it reaches all of the edges and corners. We're putting this in the oven at 160 degrees for half an hour. When it's cooked, put it to one side to cool down. Step 2 is to make the caramel for the middle of the shortbread. Combine all of the ingredients in a large saucepan. Put this on a low heat to completely dissolve the sugar. If you don't dissolve it enough, then your caramel will be grainy. Once the butter has melted, you can put this up to a medium to high heat and bring it to the boil. Keep stirring continuously, otherwise it might stick to the sides of the pan and the caramel will burn. It's going to be really hot at this point, so be careful that it doesn't splash and burn you. You'll need to boil for around 8 minutes, but keep stirring the entire time. Once the colour starts to darken and the texture seems more like a soft fudge, it's ready and you can remove it from the heat. Pour this on top of the shortbread. Make sure that you're keeping an even layer and you've reached all of the edges and the corners. You can then put this in the fridge to set for at least 1 hour. Once the caramel has completely set, we can move on to step 3, which is the chocolate layer. You don't need to use the same chocolate that I have, you can use whatever you have available or whatever you want on top. Start by melting your chocolate. If you're doing it in the microwave, check every 10 seconds and stir so that it doesn't burn. Cover your caramel layer in the melted chocolate. Make sure you're pushing this out to the edges and the sides and that you're keeping a flat layer on top. You can use 2 colours to create a pattern the same way that I have, or you can just leave it as a milk chocolate topping. At this point, you can add any other toppings that you want, such as crushed nuts or anything like that. Once you're happy with your decoration, leave it in the fridge for at least another hour to set. After that time, it should have completely hardened and you can remove it from the tin. You can leave it to stand for a while at room temperature to soften the top of the chocolate, which will make it easier to cut. Or you can get a mug of boiling water and dip your knife in before you cut. The heat will melt the chocolate as you cut down. Slice it into whichever sizes you want, and then it's good to be eaten. If you enjoyed watching this recipe, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so that you can see my next video. Drop me a comment if you try this out and let me know how it goes.